Love chatting about spiritual awakening? Want to learn more about connecting with source energy and allowing the universe to act on your behalf? Well, grab a beverage and welcome in the weekend with Lindsey every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on her show, Card Pulls and Coffee, as she channels messages from the divine realm or chats with a guest. Lindsey is a mindset coach, intuitive channel, and energy clearing practitioner. If you're feeling stagnant, overwhelmed, or full of self-doubt, Lindsey will guide you to come back to remembering who you really are. Join Lindsey here on WLFE DB Radio.
Hello, my beautiful friends. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Card Pulls and Coffee. If you have never been here before, allow me to introduce myself. Say hello, pop yourself into the comments wherever you're viewing. Let me know how your day was. Let me know what you're going to do this weekend. So my name is Lindsey Amiko. I'm a mindset coach. I'm an intuitive channel, and I'm an energy clearing practitioner. So when I say intuitive channel, that means that I believe that I can see your creative source, your essence, your higher self, your potential, your power. And I really feel like I can tap into source, universe, God, angels, all that is, however you want to look at it, intuition. And I often utilize card pulls. I sometimes receive messages. That's what we're doing on this show. Feel free to hop into the comments, ask a question, ask for advice. Whether it's coming from a card pull or coming from myself as a coach, I'm happy to give you advice. I'm happy to walk you through anything and connect you back to who you are, always have been, and always will be. You know, we go through so many things in our life. We go through trauma. We go through, programming that was put onto us, limiting belief systems. We go through difficult times, and things are put on us that we have to work through. We're made to think that we can't connect to our self-confidence. We can't be too loud. We can't be too bold. We can't go after our dreams. We can't do the thing we actually want to do. We can't be seen, or else something bad is going to happen. And I want you to know that you're brave for doing any level of this work, whether it's working with a coach, working with a therapist, reading self-help books. That's how I got started in all of this. And I learned my thoughts weren't me. My thoughts were just thoughts that I could observe. So I'm really excited for our guest tonight. Let's see who's in the comments. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you tonight. Hello, Sarah. Love card pulls and coffee. Yes, tonight, guys, I actually do have Starbucks. So for once, I actually do have coffee. It's fine. Hi, Jill. Welcome to the show. Julie, good to see you here. Thank you for saying hello. Hi, Dana. Good to see you as always, my friend. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Do you happen to know? Yeah, Patricia, we can absolutely try to connect to your spirit guide tonight. So for any of you that don't know, basically, I'm going to keep a list in the background. And so if you ask for a card pull or a message or anything, I'll keep a list. And then throughout the conversation with myself and Mallory, we will be able to tap into that in between. Tonight, I am so excited for our topic. Mallory is a motivational speaker. She's been through so many things in her life. I can't wait to get to know her more. I really believe that Source connected me to Mallory. I very intuitively follow these things on what feels right. And Mallory just popped up. We're in a similar group together, and she messaged me, and I had an opening tonight, and it all just fell into place. So I firmly believe that if you're here watching this, there is something that you need to hear so you can tap into your potential and your greatest potential, your creativity, your energetic power. Hello, Josh. That's my husband, Josh. Do you like the camera? He got me a new camera. Hi, Leanne. Oh, no worries. You can always pop in and out if you'd like to. Just put in your headphones. It's fine. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Hello, hello. So yeah, feel free to comment. Let me know if you'd like a card pull. A couple of announcements before I chat more about Mallory. Let's see. Free Facebook group, Rock Your Fear. I'm always doing card pulls. But more than that, really talking about how fear is a messenger and how we can rock our fear, own our fear. It's protection. It's not the enemy. You can hop in there. I do meditations. I have so many free resources in there for you. And of course, like Picture Perfect Mind on Facebook. Thank you to WLFE DB Radio for allowing me to have a platform for this show. So please follow, check out the YouTube channel for WLFE DB, facebook.com. Check it out, like it, all the good stuff. And for more fun, I am in the process of building my YouTube channel. So you can follow me. If you can find that little link, feel free to copy and paste it and hit subscribe, or just search for Lindsey Amiko on YouTube and you'll be able to find me. It is card readings. It's motivational stuff. It's stress reduction. It's the tools that I help my clients to utilize to get us out of a frantic and anxious state and back into our body. So if you want motivation, if you're into all of that, I have 83 subscribers right now, and I'm trying to get to 100. So let me know if you take the time to go on YouTube during my show. Let me know if you subscribe. Some of you I know already subscribed. Thank you for that. If you do, I will enter you to win a mini card reading. So please let me know if you do tonight, okay? What else do I want to say? I'm going to let Mallory share more about her stuff, and then I'll make her a little banner at the bottom. Anything else? I'm really excited to talk about this topic tonight. It is You Are Not Your Trauma. And if you know me, if you've watched the show at all, you know that I love dismantling limiting beliefs. And I believe that we are our own worst enemy with this, because it is so, I'm already getting emotional. Why am I emotional? It's so impactful. Whatever level of trauma, whatever you have gone through in your life, it can be the greatest trauma or the smallest trauma. It has a profound impact on you internally, as we all know. And because of that level of pain, it is so easy to act from that space. It is so easy to hold yourself back and label yourself and put yourself in a box and say, I can or cannot do these things, or I'm broken and I'm never going to be okay. And I really am looking forward to this conversation to know that we do not have to be limited by that. We do not have to be limited by our experiences. We go through our experiences. We learn from our experiences. And if we can love ourselves through them and heal through them, I don't, think we ever fully heal completely, but if we heal through them along the way, we can help so many other people. And I've just been working a lot with my inner child lately, and it's been delightful. So we can talk more about that too. So, hola, Jessica. Hola, sister. Jessica has been doing a lot of work on herself, and I am proud of her. She is living the best life. She just had a photo shoot done. Shout out. Okay, I think we're ready to bring Mallory on, so let us do that. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me. This is so exciting.
Of course. I'm so happy that universe brought us together.
I know, it's great. It's great. And Lindsey and I, for everybody listening, we were talking before about how I've never done anything like this. This is all new for me. So if you're new to the card pulling, card reading, we're in the same boat here. So this is going to be exciting and fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I started off as a mindset coach, and then I worked with Gabby Bernstein, who is a spiritual teacher. She has amazing books, so transformational and amazing. Highly recommend her. And then, so I started to learn more about choosing love over fear and learning more about my connection to God, universe, etc. I was raised Christian, and this has just kind of evolved for me. And then I just started utilizing cards about a year ago with my coaching, just to more intuitively see if I could connect to a deeper knowing through them. And through utilizing them, messages come out that are so aligned. And my biggest mission always is to help you to feel motivated and help you to recognize who you are. So that's a little bit of my card background.
That's awesome. I love that. As you were talking, I was doing your announcements, I was getting a little nervous, and then I was thinking, and then all of a sudden, like, this just calmness kind of came over me. And to me, hi Patricia. To me, I love Jesus. I'm a Jesus lover. I talk about Jesus a lot and God, and like, I think that was just a message, like the Holy Spirit kind of moving in me and just telling me, like, this is where you're supposed to be. So I am so thankful to be here, and I'd love to tell everybody a little bit about me. Is that okay?
Yes, please. What's your little bio?
Yeah, my little bio. Okay. So, well, if I don't have it in front of me, so this is going to be a little splotchy here, but
whatever is going to come out, girl. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Okay. So I am from McKinney, Texas. It's a little town outside of Dallas, and I grew up there, and my mom and my dad, they ended up getting divorced when I was super young. So I don't really remember them ever being together. And then my mom got remarried. I moved. I kind of started this whole new family. And I remember thinking, this is super weird. This is crazy. I remember not liking anybody in my new family. Like, I would scream and cry. I know it was weird. And then when I turned 5 years old, my dad was in a home accident, my biological dad, causing him to be paralyzed from the neck down. And I was super young when that happened, so I don't have many memories of my dad walking. And so from the ages of 5 to 17, he was paralyzed, and then he passed away when I was 17 years old. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever been through. I was in the room when he passed away. And so I was in there with my boyfriend, now husband. And yeah, I'll talk a little bit about Chris later. He is fantastic and wonderful. And I just remember thinking how crazy it is when you see half of the reason why you are and who you are leave this world. It's like it's a feeling you can't quite describe. And then as I was growing up, on top of losing my dad and my dad being in that situation, I was sexually abused in that childhood home. And it was, I didn't remember that happened to me until I was 14 years old. And the abuse went on from the ages of like 4 years old all the way until 10 or so, and I didn't remember. And so at 14, it just like hit me like a wave of emotions. It just came over me, and I hid it for so long. I didn't tell anybody. I was telling myself, you're lying to yourself. You're lying. This isn't really happening. This didn't happen. And I finally told somebody when I was 16 years old. And then beyond that, after my dad passed away, I was like, okay, I'm going to college. I am going to get out of here. I'm never coming back to the Dallas area ever again. And I am starting to acclimate to college. It was kind of hard. I was still grieving. Grieving is just a whole process, and especially when you're young. And then I get a phone call from my mom at like 8 a.m. And that's early for a college freshman, it's super early. And she's telling me that my sister had died. And I just was shocked by that. And obviously I sat up straight in my bed. And after we got off the phone, I started laughing because I literally couldn't believe that this was my life, that I had just lost my sister. or my dad, and now I just lost my sister. So so then I had to go back to McKinney, and then from there, because unfortunately my sister was killed by somebody, so there were hearings and trials and all of this stuff that went on. So I was back and forth to McKinney all the time, and I was like, this is not what I wanted. And so because of all of this dream of talking to people and helping them realize that they are not alone in whatever circumstance, whatever trauma or experience they're going through, they're not alone. And what you said earlier as you were introducing today's show, you said, no matter how little or big your trauma is, you know, it's something that has like totally changed your life. And I am like we're so in tune with each other on that, because I feel the same way. And when people are telling me their stories and they're like, well, it doesn't even compare to yours, I'm like, stop. No, we don't compare. We don't compare, because my worst thing is not your worst thing. You know, your worst thing could be that your parents got divorced. But for me, my worst thing is something else, but it still affects you. Your feelings are still valid. Yes. And so anyways, but I just wanted to touch on that. But this dream of speaking to people came from me being so alone in those moments. I just wanted people to understand that they weren't alone. And so, yeah, that was a long way to that, but
that was amazing. I feel your power. Like your power is radiating through the computer, and I have chills up and down my body.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. That means a lot. Really, it does. This is so cool. I love this. This is so fun for me. This is so fun.
Internet is so fun. It's like I get to make all these connections.
I know, right? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Don't we love the internet? We love the internet.
I always say the internet is energy, and I feel like you can just use energy in whatever way you want it to, you know?
Yes.
Just like you can use your life in whatever way you want it to. So
yeah.
Here we are.
We go. Here we are.
Help people.
Yes, I love it.
Hi, Lauren. Good to see you. Hello. Thank you for hopping on. Anyone else, if you're hopping on, say hi to us. I'm chatting with Mallory Files. She just shared her life story thus far. I mean, what has really impacted her in getting into this work. And I am like almost speechless, and I understand why people say that to you, and I know that we shouldn't compare, and I know comparing is just that inner critic, but I cannot imagine, like I'm getting emotional thinking about losing my father, my mother, my sister, and it's incredible that you're doing what you're doing to help people know they're not alone.
Thank you. Yes. And, you know, I also, you know, when I hear people, or let me back up. I went to Mozambique, which is a country on the east side. Thanks. Oh, Kennedy. Hi. I know her. Hi, Kennedy. I know you.
Hi, Kennedy.
It's a country on the east side of Africa. And I remember going there, and I don't really know why I'm talking about this. I just, for some reason, just popped in my head to bring it up. But I remember going there and just feeling like, how can I be even remotely upset about what's happening to me when these wonderful human beings have nothing? And to me, that whole trip was super healing for me. And also with what you said about how we never truly get healed, you know, we're never truly healed. That seriously spoke to me, because I think as human beings, we're always trying to get to the end goal or to some type of end goal. And we always expect to get there. And so it's like understanding that we're just never going to get there is something like I just kind of had this moment of realization that, yeah, I'm never going to be healed. And yesterday or the last few days have been really tough for me. And I have been really missing my dad lately. And I'm like, is this feeling ever going to go away? And like, the answer is no, it's not. Like, I'm always going to miss my dad, and I'm always going to want him back. I'm always going to miss my sister, and I'm always going to want her back. But, we can get closer and closer, but we're just never going to quite get there because these people have made such a big impact on you. So, tangent, but I think that was really important with what you said. And I love that you said that.
And I feel like it's the discovery of, it's like so I always talk about it in terms of like the ego. So it's like love versus fear. A Course in Miracles, I feel like you would really like it. It's a metaphysical text. It's based off of Christianity. And it's so beautiful, but it talks all about love versus fear. And the ego is fear. The ego is our inner critic. It's that part of ourselves, right, that's just like putting us down or saying we're not good enough, comparison, judgment, shame, blame, guilt, all of it. And love is what exists. Love is the truth. Love is God. Love is source. Love is us. It's either love or fear, but the fear is the illusion. And I feel like the illusion is someday I'll feel better. We can always work on it. There's always more to do and help ourselves and talk to others and build camaraderie and have impact. There's so much we can do, and we can do things to feel better, but it's like, that is not our worth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Healed, that's not our worth. You are worthy as is. You are okay. You are, even if you're feeling emotional, I always have to tell myself, if I'm depressed or if I'm anxious or if I'm super low, that's not my worth. But in our society, I think we almost have this, sometimes it's the addiction to getting better, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, I experience that all the time. And I think what helps me when I get to those points of trying to push myself even to the like point of where my husband's like, you got to chill, girl, because I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. You're working your booty off. And whether that's with my full-time job or with doing this, being able to speak and help people know that they're not alone, whatever they're going through. Something that I realized is, I know this is going to sound so like off topic, but my time management, it's like I have a very specific calendar that helps me like really channel my my energy towards a specific thing during a specific time. And that I have found is like chef's kiss, like the perfect like thing to help me.
I think I need you in my life. That I need help.
Well, okay, I'm telling you, Google Calendar is like the best. They're not sponsoring me, but like Google Calendar is like the best.
Calendar. Yes.
I mean, I got Chris on Google Calendar, my husband, and he's liking it. It's taken him a minute, but he likes it.
Well, so. I really like planners and notebooks and writing.
Oh my God.
The problem is, are you going to bring your big ass planner into the doctor's office? Like, no.
Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God. I am. A notebook comparison over here.
I even have two more out there.
I have a planner. I don't really use it.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I have like a million. I think I have two more notebooks, and these two are actually full, but they're like notes that I need every day. But I do have this notebook, and I'm like really into having notebooks for specific things in my life. So this is for all things like Mallory Files LLC. And these are for what I do for full-time work, which is I work for a nonprofit marketing firm called Branches Mission Lab. Little plug for Branches.
Branches.
I love Branches. I love what I do.
Cracking me up.
Hey mom, that's my mom.
Hey mom, hey Julie.
Hey mom, love you, girl.
But also, sidebar, my sister's in marketing and she also works for a nonprofit. So,
Hey.
But I want to hear more about branches.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to tell you about branches. So we're a nonprofit marketing firm. So we help nonprofits tell their stories, scale, and fundraise. And so it's really fun. So we do things like all the way from agency. So where clients pay like dollar for us to be their marketing team. And then we have started kind of scaling where we do more stuff for smaller nonprofits like courses and programs. And we just started a program called the Good Maker Growth Program. And it is fabulous because it's tailored to each nonprofit. And it's a 60-day program and they get coached by me. And it's so fun. It's so fun. I love it because I get to meet all these really cool people and they have like really specific goals. So they're like, I want to raise $50,000 or I want to plan to raise $50,000. And so we create a plan. We do it with them in the 60 days. And by the end of the 60 days, like they either have a plan to do it or they raise the $50,000. And so
that's amazing.
Baller. Yeah, it's so
amazing. That is my jam. Like that is straight up my jam. Like meeting new people, having an impact, using my skills. That's like the trifecta of what more could you want?
I know. I'm really blessed to have my job. And I really do, like, I don't know if my boss is watching this, but let's pretend he's not, or his wife. I love his family. But I mean, my boss and the people that I work with are very like unique in that it's a faith-based organization. We're not a nonprofit, we're a for-profit, but it's faith-based. And so we pray together. We get to just like, it's emotional health before work pulse. And it's just really fabulous. Like the other day I was like having the worst day. It was like, before this meeting starts, are you okay? It's like, no, I'm not okay.
But I mean, imagine if everyone had that kind of support at their office. You know what I mean? Like how would the world, not even necessarily like faith-based support, but just like people that weren't just like, hey, work. I'm good. Like responding, I'm good, when actually you're having a terrible day. Like you can't show, that's a whole other thing. I always say productivity is not your worth. And I help companies really through my mindset coaching to be able to be like, okay, your employees need to feel okay. They need to be able to have tools to utilize on a day-to-day basis so they can show up and work, because we're not robots. We just aren't.
Preach, sis, preach. Like that's so good. And I do love that about branches. I'm not being sponsored by branches either. I just love them. But hey Jesse, just kidding, Jesse. And yes, mom, separate notebooks are a necessity. Yes, queen. But I don't even remember what I was saying, but
with that emotional support, it's like, I think about, especially with the pandemic, and so many people have been isolated, right? And just depending on what you've experienced, maybe you've lost people. I mean, if anyone wants to share, like, how has this pandemic been for you? How are you actually feeling today?
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like being vulnerable, please feel free to share. If not, that's okay. But, you know, I can relate. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And it's like, so many people have felt either isolated or super claustrophobic, or they're so terrified to go to the grocery store. And it's like, how would the world be different if we actually felt like, okay, I have a team of support. I have myself and I have all of these other people in my life. I have my coworkers, I have my family, I have my friends. You're not alone.
Yeah. Yes. I have felt this claustrophobia recently, especially in the last like 2 to 3 months. And my productivity, I feel like, has just like shot down because like in my office, like, you know, I have this like really pretty like wall. It's like really fun. I try to make my environment really fun to be in and like calming and everything. But then like I sit in my office and then I go to the kitchen for lunch, and then I come back in here and I'm around Chris. Love him to death. He's my boo, but I mean, like, we just got married a year ago, and I'm just like, I'm around you all the time, but I love you, but I'm around you all the
I
time.
need a
And
little space.
yes, yes. And so I have started, as things have started opening up where I live, I have started to just like go to the coffee shop or go to this really cute little neighbor mill that's like basically vacant for the most part, and they have like the best coffee, and I'm just like jamming out and to
Amazing.
Taylor Swift's new album, gets me in my feels, and
Yes.
I'm working, and it feels really great. But I just like can't imagine for people who don't have that ability, that have kids that have whatever it is to keep them in the house. Like, oh, I feel for you, because I have felt a sliver of that, but I have a way out. And so, I have a way out, and I just I feel for you if you're feeling claustrophobic. And like Lindsey said, I encourage you to be vulnerable today. It's a safe space. We're here to encourage you and to love on you.
I mean, we're both basically motivational coaches right now. So like, you need help. I know we have Patricia asking about her spirit guide, so I can pull you a card and see if we can get any of that. But whether it's a card or a question or anything, maybe you have some trauma that you're working with and you don't need to share, but maybe some tools we can talk about. That would be amazing. We'll pause here. We'll let you guys think on that for a second. I'm going to do a quick commercial break, and then I think I'll pull Patricia a card and tune into that really quickly. And then we can get into all the goodness, all of the Mallory files. Trauma is everything. I was going to say trauma is not your worth, but it's not.
You are more than your trauma.
You are more than your trauma. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, queen.
Yes, Papa off, sis.
All right, we will be right back, my friends.
Paratalk Radio is a member of radio.com. Download the app, search Paratalk Radio. One word. That's it. Pretty easy peasy. Radio.com.
WLFE DB Radio is on Spotify with all its great shows like Across the Pond, Inside the Drag Closet, Step into the Paranormal, Just Cindy, Where's My Sage, Unfiltered Talks with Bryce, Metal Mayhem ROC, Paratalk Radio, Real Talk with Dom, and more. So download the Spotify app today to stay connected to all your WLFE DB Radio shows.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Brie, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area, 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
You're listening to WLFE DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Hello, we are back with Mallory Files. She is a motivational speaker, and we're talking today about how you are more than your trauma. So welcome back, my friends. So I pulled a couple of cards for Patricia, which is perfect. I'm using my angel card book today, and this is so perfect. So we got ask and receive, and we received listen deeply. So I'm feeling them surrounding you. So when I think about spirit guides, this is how I think about them. I believe we have guardian angels. I believe we can work with angels, source, etc. I believe that we were assigned spirit guides who have actually never really lived. And so that is who I'm tapping into right now for Patricia. These are beings that their sole purpose is to guide us through light. They're beings of love and light. And so I really, really feel like, Patricia, first of all, I saw green. So I'm feeling Archangel Raphael, and I'm also hearing Mel. So I don't know if that relates to you at all, but they're listening and they want you to know they're always surrounding you, and they want you to be able to ask them about things. And I'm really, really feeling meditation for you. Another beautiful thing you can do is ask for signs. So I always like to ask for butterflies or a cardinal to know that I'm on the right path. So if that speaks to you, if you're looking for like, okay, I feel like I felt them today during my meditation. I'm feeling like I heard this. I'm feeling my intuition tell me to go in this direction. You can always ask for a sign. So, but you are very, very loved and very supported, and just know that they're always surrounding you. So let me know how that feels for you, Patricia. And I just wanted to share with everyone that I knew this was going to be a powerful show because I'm staging beforehand, which is just a way to clear the energy. And my husband's like talking to me, standing in the door, and I'm saging, and all of a sudden my light goes out, and it just like, Josh is just like, I'm just standing there like, so I just feel like, when that happens, it just means the energy is supported. The energy is powerful. Like, your loved ones are here. We are supported. Like you said, you just, before we came on, it's like you felt that sense of calmness. And it's like, because you are following your purpose work. And so it's very, very powerful to be sitting here and to be with someone that is, you know, doing that and has a full-time job. And so it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And yeah, I love that you just said purpose work, because I never thought of it that way. Yeah. And yeah, and back to Patricia, who you drew cards for, and looking for signs. And I used to look for butterflies from my uncle who passed away, yellow butterflies. And I would see them all over the place. And it was so strange. I haven't thought about that in a really long time. So it brought up like a really fun memory. And my husband and I, we sit out on our porch or on our back deck when it's nice out. And we see a red cardinal almost every single day. And it's the same one, and it just sticks out so perfectly because behind our house is like an open field, and we have these trees back there, and it sits so perfectly. And I always I will just stare down that cardinal all the time, like watch its every move, because to me it's just like they're just so intriguing to me. So I love that you brought that up. Yes, and looking for signs too. It's, I mean, when I am talking to Jesus, I'm like, Jesus, you know, I am asking specifically today for some signs, for something that shows like I'm doing the right thing. Like, can you affirm me, Lord? Like, please. And, you know, I'll ask for a specific person to affirm me, and that person will affirm me. And I'm like, oh, Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That is just exactly what I needed. And I love that you just put words to it for me, though. Purpose work. I love it.
Work. So, this is what it is. And it's not easy. That's the thing. It's like, I think sometimes people, you know, for me, I'll use myself as an example. I thought that when I went into my business, and I utilized all of my time for it, that I would feel this sense of completion, and that I would feel like I love my life and everything is fabulous. But it's that destination happiness that ends up coming up again. And it's like, oh, I'll just be happy when this gets here, right?
Oh,
I'll just,
yes.
I'll just be happy. But it's always doing your purpose work, especially if it does not align with what other people want you to do, or if it doesn't feel easy and it feels emotional and it's a struggle. It's not the solution to everything. It's part of what you need to do. But for anyone that's like struggling with that, know that you can do pieces of your purpose work even when you're working your 9 to 5. Like if you do something super small once a day, if you smile at someone, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, my husband just said cardinal energy.
Oh, how fun. That's awesome. Crazy how the world
feel
works.
your dad around that cardinal energy.
Oh, thanks for saying that. Thank you. Thank you. I really miss my dad a lot. You know, when I was growing up, he couldn't move at all. So I just would sit around in between the wall and his bed. And we would just sit and talk. And we got really, really close that way because all we could do was just talk. And so he knew like everything about me. And he was my bestest friend I've ever had. And I just remember sitting in between the wall and the bed and just thinking like how safe I felt because my home where I lived was not safe. And I just remember thinking, wow, like I am incredibly safe here. And so I love that you just connected those dots, and that makes me feel like, you know, he's still here, because sometimes I'm like,
no, he's here. Trust me.
Are you here, Dad? Oh, thank you. Okay. Yay. Yeah. Well, good. That makes me feel so good. And yeah, I'm a little like, woo, like, woo. I've never, because I think we said this, but I've never done anything like this before. So this is all super, super new for me. So
that's amazing. Like wherever, I believe that, and you don't have to believe this and nobody watching has to believe this. I believe everything is God. So I believe all religions. I feel Jesus too. Like I work with Jesus. I love Jesus. So that's where I come from. I believe that we are all energy and we are never ending. And that's so,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. When I lost my dad, I wanted to go back to this because, you know, the moment that he died, I remember it so specifically, watching the monitor slowly like decrease and the beeps getting farther in between for his heart rate. And I was laying there watching, and the second that he died, it was just like this overwhelming, like I lost my breath when he lost his breath, and I've been trying to find my breath ever since he died, you know, and like trying to get my breath back. And because like he was part of like my beating heart, you know, and part of my being. And so, you know, trying to get back to, you know, this destination, what'd you call it? Destination
happiness. Yes.
Like I seriously resonate with that through my dad specifically, you know, like trying to do all these things like just to get him back. I'm like, if I just do these things, like he's going to come back, you know, or if I do these things, my sister's going to come back. And if I do these things, my childhood wouldn't have been so bad. And so, and then same thing, like with business, with my full-time job, I'm like, if I do these things, I'll get this raise. If I do these things, I'll get this, you know, whatever. Or, you know, with, you know, my motivational speaking business, I'm like, if I do these things, like, then I'll be happy. Or if I get this house, then I'll be happy. And so my thing here is I have to stop myself in my tracks when I'm doing that and just be so conscious of myself doing that. Chris will call me out on it all the time. He's like, Mal, you are like, we need to be content where we are. And we have the most beautiful, perfect life. Like, why can't you just be happy where we are? I'm like, because I need more. I need more. And
that ambition.
And so calling it out. Yes. But I think there is a line like that we cross into
Right.
like this destination happiness. And it's like, where can we ride that line
Right.
and still be faithful and, you know, still like be obedient to the Lord. And it's just, you know, you're just trying to walk these lines, and it's so hard. And
be kind to yourself.
call it
Do
out.
that. Be so kind to yourself as you navigate that.
Thank you. Yes. Can we get Chris on the phone?
Chris, she's doing great.
Thanks. Hopefully I don't know if he's on. I don't know if you used to do this. This is like a huge shift in topic, but I don't know if you never let your husband like watch anything that you did because you like didn't want anybody that you knew watching what you do, because I've been there.
I used to hate the sound of my voice. So obviously that's not a problem anymore. I had to do a lot of meditations, a lot of presentations, a lot of this. And now I'm like, okay, I like the sound of my voice. But you know, when you like hear it back and you're like, that's what I sound like what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel the same way. And I wanted to say you have a great voice. Oh, somebody, I just see a comment. Oh, that's so nice.
So Patricia, pennies are my grandma. Like my grandma leaves me pennies everywhere.
Oh, I love that.
I totally feel that. And I believe in that. I believe that whether it's, you know, Jesus or it's source or whatever we believe, like whoever we're working with, spirit guides, passed on loved ones, messages are huge. Like, and you know, I always talk with my sister and I'm like, do you think we're like making all of this up sometimes, even though I know in my gut and my heart that we're not? But she's like, whatever, it makes us happy. And I'm like, cool. You know, I see a cardinal and I get the sign, and yeah. So
I love that.
But do you want me to pull you an angel card on your destination happiness?
I'm so nervous, but okay, I'll let you do it.
Nothing bad's gonna come out, I promise.
What does like the death card
need to know? What does Mallory need to know? Let's see. So maybe we can ask, how can you calm down a little bit and be present more? Does that feel like a good question? What feels aligned?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm never present. Like even here now, I'm like thinking like, what am I doing tomorrow?
And that's okay. Yeah. And I want you to know that that's how our brain works. So we're either projecting into the future or projecting into the past. And it's part of how our neural pathways process. So in the being mode, we're never in it because we have so many things on our mind. And that's a part of like safety. Like, okay, I have to make sure I don't forget. So just, we can talk more about mindfulness, but trust me, it's a journey.
Mm-hmm. I'm nervous.
Oh my God, you're so cute. Also, do you know a Paul?
I don't know Paul.
Okay. No worries. I was hearing Paul earlier.
I wonder if anybody tuning in knows a Paul.
Yeah, let me know if you know Paul. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love it. First of all, oh my gosh, I love it. Courage and bravery. I just feel like you are so brave. Like maybe people tell you that all the time, but your power, like you are so powerful. And intuition and downloads.
What's downloads? What does that mean?
So that's what I say when I'm like, oh, I'm getting a download, or like, how do I explain downloads? Something from God that comes through you that you need to share. So like your purpose work is a download. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. When you are in alignment and you are like talking and you are impacting people, that is a download.
Loving that. Okay.
Okay, so you are so brave. Ugh. You have the heart of a warrior. You want to do it right, but it's not always easy. Angels are surrounding you in a light of courage at this time and guiding you to do what you know deep down in your heart is right. Being brave isn't about being emotionless. The angels are reminding you it's okay to feel, and your vulnerability will allow you to tap into an even greater strength. Angels are always willing. Were you feeling weird about being vulnerable? Do you feel that at times?
Yes, keep going. I have thoughts, but I want to let you finish.
I'm gonna read it. Okay. Angels are always willing to help you feel safe, guided, and guarded. So call in as much help as you need. So for angels, I always think we have free will, just like when you ask for that confirmation from Jesus. So it's like we have free will. So it's like you kind of have to ask, like you're always safe, but when you need help with something. This is a time to take ownership of your energy and any situations that are making you feel less than good. Your angels are here to remind you your soul cannot be tarnished or harmed. It's the one part of your essence that always remains whole, healed, and complete. So if you're feeling the need to defend yourself, angel wisdom is guiding you. You don't need to protect yourself when you have spiritual support. Call in the light of God, heaven, and angels to protect you. If you feel you have made a mistake, be brave and take ownership. Trust that living with integrity will always lead to the greatest possible unfolding of your life. And know that the best gift you can give the world at this time is your truth, which is what you are doing, which is...
Woo, that's cool. Well, kind of what stopped me is I had this I think 5-year gap or something, 3-year gap, where a vibe, I say that all the time, a vibe, that's a vibe. Yes, I say that all the time. But I went through this 3-year gap where I did not cry at all. And it came from me thinking that if I cry, I'm less than, and I know, okay, I'll walk on a thin line here, but if I cry, men will see me as weak, and men are, in my eyes, this isn't true for all men. I know that, but men have wronged me again and again and again and again through the death of my sister, through my abuse. And I just used to shut it off. And I just kind of in the last 4 to 6 months have allowed myself to take that wall down. I was so scared to cry in front of my boss. And one day I was just having a really bad day. And I think he didn't say anything that was rude, but I took it as rude, and that just stopped me in my tracks, and I started crying.
Yeah.
And so then I just realized that he didn't view me any different. And it's the receiver. It's the receiver of these emotions, I think where things tend to land and get twisted. But anyways, I have now stopped that false narrative of if I cry, men will see me weak. And I literally just had that conversation today with a coworker of mine about not doing a project because of some situation, and it's dealing with men. And if I'm pulled off this project, they're going to think I'm just too emotional and too weak to do this. And it's no, heck no, that's not it at all. So let your emotions be your emotions, and all of your emotions are validated. I just want to say that any emotion that you have is so incredibly valid because it's how you feel. And that's enough, that's enough reason.
And I feel like we're shifting into this space now in the world where, so we all have masculine and feminine energy, right?
Yes.
It's feminine energy is the feeling. And in the corporate world, we're taught, make sure you get to work on time, make sure you don't feel, make sure you're not vulnerable, make sure you do everything perfectly, get good reviews. And now it's this combining of that feminine energy as well. That feminine energy is so powerful, but we aren't tapped into it because we're taught to be professional. So I really do feel like now our world is shifting, and we're shifting it by being brave and vulnerable and crying or sharing our emotions or doing whatever we need to do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and I love that we're having this shift in this world where even men like are starting to understand
Absolutely.
this
No, everyone
shift.
is.
And I'm like, yes,
Everyone.
yes, I love it. I'm
I love it.
here
It's
for
like,
it.
we are just moving out of the old, and that's why I like having these conversations around like you say, you are not your trauma. Like, you are so much more than your trauma, because we are in these limiting belief systems that we're just ready to release. They're all fear. They are valid. There's protection there, just like you shared, where it's like men have always screwed you over, or like had that's that fear around that. That's a protection story that's meant to protect you. Do you wish you could let it go? Of course. Are you working on it? Of course. But that is there for a reason. And so instead of stuffing it away, it's feeling it, honoring it, moving through it. Which is,
I love
work
that.
is hard. That work is hard.
Yes. It is so hard and it's exhausting, and sometimes you just want to be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm so done.
We're just we're all
yeah. But I have to keep telling myself that, this work is not only going to affect me, but me doing this work is going to affect everybody around me.
Yes.
And when I put it in in that type of language, to me, it means more when I can relate it to somebody like my husband, who I would do anything for, And so if I'm better, he's better. If I'm better, my future kids will be better,
Absolutely.
So everybody around me will benefit from me doing this self-work, especially me. I will benefit, So
Absolutely. It's amazing. It's like our work. I always talk about, today I actually presented to there's this group in Western New York where I am called Peace Prints, and they help folks who are incarcerated to
I did see that today.
get rehabilitated back into the world, so they're not just put back into the system, because we know we have such high incarceration rates in the United States, and also really high reentry rates into the system. And I was just talking about like how you always do have your power from within. And that's what I was really focusing on like, the world can just be really harsh at times and really difficult, but it's like the more we come from within and create that safety and compassion for ourselves, that's where we can shift, and everyone around us shifts because of that.
Yeah. And I think about when, somebody messes up. I think I'm the first to say, oh my God, it's okay. Like, do not even worry about it. It didn't really affect me. Like, you are totally fine.
Oh,
But whenever I
absolutely.
mess up, I'm like, I will literally out loud be like, you're such an idiot. Like, you're such an idiot. And I'm like, why do I say that? I'm not an idiot. I am capable. I am confident. I am strong. Like, I am a baddie.
Yes.
No.
The other day, I was going through all my emails, and I was so behind on emails, and I was like, you're such a piece of crap. You're such, like, I was talking to myself like that, but I was joking. Like, I really was joking, but I kind of had to get it out, because it's that inner critic. And it's like, once you say it out loud, sometimes you're like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's genuinely ridiculous. But sometimes you just have to say it, and then you're like, oh, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And okay, my neighbor's music is like incredibly loud right now.
Hear it.
You can hear it?
No.
Oh, you can't? Okay, good. Well, I'm about to go tell my husband to tell him to turn it down, because
do you want me to like pop you off for a second? I'll put you backstage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't even concentrate.
No worries, girl. No worries. Okay, everyone. So we are chatting with Mallory today. It's been amazing. It's been so powerful. I am feeling all the vibes. I'm going to pop a commercial in real quick, and then we're going to get more into the show. Thank you for watching. Of course, join my free Facebook group if you feel called to. Rock Your Fear, always putting free resources in there. Let me know if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's card pulls, it's motivation, it's stress reduction. Let me know if you do, pop it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. Of course, follow, like, and share. Go to WLFE DB Radio on Facebook and all that good stuff. And I think I'm going to pop a commercial in and we'll get back with Mallory. Let's see. Oh. I couldn't find myself. I'm back. Okay, it looks like Mallory's back. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, work from home life. Neighbors are loud. You gotta tell them it's just their music is just loud. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but it's like you're trying to like talk and you can hear something else. Oh my gosh, I get so thrown off track. Do I have ADD?
And you're also doing something that you don't normally do, so that's like on top of it. You're like, okay, I'm doing something that's a little out of my comfort zone right now.
Yes. But this has been really great. I am loving this whole conversation and just talking about trauma and that you are more than your trauma and you are more than what's happened to you, and just all of these experiences that even as we've talked, we're like, yes, we both do that. Like, and think about how many other people do that in this world. And so I just, want to encourage you, whoever, out there, whoever's listening, that you are more than your trauma. You're more than what's happened to you, and whatever you feel like is breaking you right now, I promise you that you are more than it, and we're here with you to get you through it. So if you feel called, let us know if you're struggling with something so we can help you. We want to help.
Mallory, how can people get a hold of you? I'm going to put it in a banner at the bottom of the page.
Oh, yeah. So they can get a hold of me at hi@Mallory Files, or they can go to my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group. I don't think I have shared that link with you. But what Enduring Joy - Joyful Tidbits. We just like to encourage each other in that group. It's just really fun. I sometimes give away Starbucks. So if you want some Starbucks.
That I saw that and I did that in my group.
You did? I did,
and I tagged you in the post, so maybe you just didn't see, but I was inspired by Mallory to like do this because I saw it and I was like, that's fabulous.
I didn't see it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look for it, and that makes me so excited.
And it just shows though, like everyone out there, I mean, no matter what you're doing, you have some kind of impact. Like I truly believe, even if you sit in your house all day and just go into your backyard for 1 second, or if you have to take a Netflix day or anything, like you, with any action you do, you are affecting everyone else around you, and you like don't even realize it. And I have to remind myself of that all the time, because it's like, oh, if I'm not making enough money or I'm not far enough yet, that's the inner critic. That is not reality. Look at everything you've done. One post on Facebook inspired me to do something nice for someone else. So
yes, I love that. So And then also what I do sometimes too, this might, I don't know, encourage people to just like pass forward some kindness, is I have like taken a picture or like a video of me paying for somebody's like Starbucks or something. And I'm like, go do something kind for somebody today and pay for their food or pay for their coffee, or like, I mean, you can't really smile at people anymore because of masks, but yeah, just pass the kindness forward in some way. And so, yeah, I love doing that, because I think it just gets people outside of their head and into the world. And so
absolutely,
I love doing that kind of stuff. It's so
like
fun. And I feel so
about someone else versus yourself. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want to say that, but yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, so if someone is watching now or rewatches the replay, by the way, you can watch this replay on WLFE-DB.com, where there's replays of all the shows on there. And then it'll also be up on the podcast and stuff, so I can share that. But if someone is watching this right now and they're struggling with some kind of their own trauma, and like we said, it's either the biggest thing or the smallest thing, it doesn't matter, it's how it's making you feel inside, what would you say to them other than, you are not your trauma? What would you say to them right now?
Yeah, my first thing immediately is that this is what people tend to do when they get into a situation that is traumatic, or they're kind of trying to come out of a situation. They tend to push it down and try not to feel. And my motto is, it's okay to sit in the suck.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, it's okay to just be like, wow, like this really sucks. Like, I honestly can't even believe it's my life. Like, what in the world? And it's okay. It's totally fine to do that. And because I have so much trauma and I've been in the thick of trauma for so long, I always felt like in those moments that I was going to drown when I was sitting in the suck. But when I sat in that suck, this dream of being a motivational speaker and starting a ministry and all of these things kind of came from me sitting there and just letting it suck for so long, and understanding also on top of that, and we've mentioned this before, is like, wherever you are in that suck or whatever suck you're sitting in, you're not alone. There are so many people that are sitting right there with you, and that's where I want to meet people, is in their suck. So my first encouragement is to sit in the suck, and that's okay, and you're not going to drown. And then I have this on a little note card because I don't want to forget. And my second thing is, if we have lots of trauma or lots of challenges or lots of things that give us anxiety, something that this is therapist approved. I'm not a therapist, but therapist approved. This is what my therapist told me to do, is choose which challenge you're going to tackle for those 2 hours, for that day, for that 30 minutes. And when you choose a challenge, a trauma, whatever word feels right to you, you get all of that control back. And as an abuse victim or an abuse survivor, really, snaps for that. I feel so out of control all the time. And when we go through trauma, we also feel out of control, because most of the time it's things that we didn't do to ourselves, somebody else did to us.
Right.
And so when we get to choose, we get the power back, and then we turn that pain into power. And that's what I'm doing now, is I'm turning all this pain that I've experienced into power. And by choosing something, like, for instance, I'll give you a real life example. Like in the morning when I wake up, I'm like, in this moment of like, nothing's wrong. Like, you're kind of like in this daze, and then you wake up and you're like, oh crap. Like, totally. This sucks. Yeah. You're like, oh crap. Like, I miss my dad. I miss my sister, like all these things. And then I sit there and I'm like, okay, which one feels the worst to me today? And the last few days, it's been, I am just really missing my dad. And I let the other traumas sit on the back burner, because if we let all the things just tidal wave over us, think about how hard that would be. Even if it's like, okay, I have, school, I have my parents are just driving me nuts, like, children, your marriage, grief, all of these things. It's like, it all touches each other. It's like spaghetti. I read this book one time. It's like men are like waffles, women are like spaghetti, but I think everybody is spaghetti, but whatever. But it all touches each other. It's true though. It's true. But everything touches everything all the time. And so I just learned to compartmentalize. I know that might not be super great, but just choosing a trauma, and you get to chisel away at that challenge, anxiety each day or each several hours that you choose to focus on it. And so that has given me a lot of power back. And then also something else that has really helped me, and it's just a shift in my mindset, really. And I don't want you to just like log off and be like, this chick is crazy, like she doesn't know what she's talking about. I just want you to bear with me for a minute, because when I say this word, people tend to get like really defensive, like I do, honestly, still. And hi, Elaine. And so the word is forgiveness. And people get really defensive, and I just walk this very carefully. And I want you to know, if you're listening, that I have not forgiven my abusers, and I have not forgiven my sister's killer, but I'm working on it, because I have to choose it every single day. I have to choose forgiveness every day. And until I can choose it every single day, I have not forgiven them. And that is okay, because forgiveness, it's a journey. And unfortunately, it's not a fun one. No. It's a really crappy one. And just to kind of encourage you to maybe start thinking about going on this journey, if you haven't, it's not for the other person. It's for you. Forgiveness is for you, because you're holding on to all of these negative feelings and emotions, and it genuinely impacts the way that people receive you and the way that things land with people. And so it just frees up a lot of space, a lot of emotional and mental space that is so precious. Like your brain and your thoughts and your capacity is so precious that you shouldn't give people that power to have that much negative impact on you. And I know that is way easier said than done, because I'm sitting here, still haven't forgiven the people who have wronged me, but I'm working on it. And so that's all I want to encourage you to do today. Is it's okay to sit in the suck. I want you to just try to think through each trauma, challenge, anxiety, however, whatever word feels right to you. Think through those in pockets so that we can focus in on each one and chisel away at each one. And then I want you to just think, pray, meditate, whatever your vibe is, on forgiveness and what it could do for you and not the other person. And the last thing I want to say about forgiveness is it doesn't invalidate the way that they made you feel. And it doesn't invalidate the way that or how the way that they hurt you. It doesn't invalidate any of that. And it's not an excuse for them. It's not an excuse at all. So it's for you. It's not for them. So that is, in a long story short version, like those are my tools that I use,
And I love all of that. And I love the tidal wave thing that you brought up, because it is like, when there's different layers to trauma too, it's like, okay, if I get to this point, but then I kind of work through that. And then the next thing happens, and the next thing happens, the next thing happens. And it's almost like we project so far into the future to be like, oh my gosh, like I need to resolve all of these things at once. So just being able to focus on the thing that feels closest, or if it's like closest one, maybe it's the easiest one that day, or maybe it's, you know, like shifting into what can I just focus on today. And also, I completely relate with you on the forgiveness thing. And I just wanted to read, there's a card in one of my oracle decks and it's on forgiveness. And I just wanted to read the description because I thought that would really add to your beautiful summary. So plain and simple, for unforgiveness is poison to your body. Also, caveat, this doesn't mean forgiveness is easy. This whole thing, I completely agree with you.
Right.
Holding on to grievances within your being goes against your true and authentic nature. Embracing forgiveness is not excusing what has happened, but rather it's about being willing to choose happiness and freedom and to view the transgressor through the eyes of compassion, choosing happiness and freedom. In some cases, that transgressor may be you. The past cannot be changed. It can be healed from and learned from. Instead of holding on forever to the experience you wanted, you have to learn to accept the experience you had. Not what happened, but what is happening. In truth, every being is innocent and is doing the very best with what they have. The only thing any person is guilty of is not having the right tools in their emotional tool belt. Choose compassion for yourself and others so you can live a rich life in love and spiritual liberation. And this affirmation here is, I accept that the past has occurred and cannot be changed. I forgive blank and release blank from the prison of this unprocessed emotion. So that can be, I release myself. And like you said, this isn't overnight. This is something you can say, even if it doesn't feel right to you. And you can skip a day, you can skip multiple days.
Yeah.
I choose to see all involved through the eyes of unconditional love. And the truth is, like you said, it is, I mean, I think it's one of the most difficult things. And as we're going down the woo rabbit hole, as I always call it, I have a muscle testing person that helps with my allergies. And so she basically tests different things on me, and she always checks like my spiritual stuff when I'm there. And the thing that usually pops up for me, if anything does, is forgiveness. And it's usually just someone in my life, like someone close to me. And I didn't even realize that I was holding on to that. And I'm just, it's not even like conscious, honestly, for me.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine your level of experience, and that forgiveness it's just so difficult.
Yeah, it is so difficult. And anytime that I even remotely think about, like, we'll use my sister's killer, for example. I mean, like, I have really thought and I have really prayed about forgiving him. And I mean, even talking about it now, like, I will be so honest, it makes me super uncomfortable because I am just still super angry. And I had this moment right after she died. I was like, I have no ill feelings towards him. Like, I don't want to go kill him. I don't want to go like punch him in the face or do any harm to him. But I am so just angry. I'm just angry. And I think there are so many layers to forgiveness. And it's like peeling an onion. And with forgiving him, you know, I think about it every single day. And there are days where I'm like, okay, today, okay, I can forgive you today. And, you know, nothing that I do right here, right now is going to bring her back, but I know where she is, and she's in the arms of Jesus. Yes. And that gives me so much peace. And she's with my dad, and she's with my uncle, and that gives me so much peace. But then tomorrow comes, and I'm like raging. I'm like, this is a bunch of bull crap. Like, I hate this. I'm feeling so angry, but I let myself feel that way because what one of my friends says, she says, you have to feel in order to heal or get to that point of healing or down that road. And so I let myself feel that anger. And that's kind of just where I am. If we're just being truthful and honest and raw, like I'm just in the middle of forgiveness. And I think just on a weird rabbit hole too, you know, like people always, I will hear this all the time, you know, don't speak about things that you're going through right now. You know, you need to do it in the past tense, you know. I'm like, no, absolutely not.
I don't agree with that. I'm always talking about
either. I know. And that's why I talk about forgiveness so much, because I'm like, people like I haven't heard anybody talk about forgiveness this way. And I just had people come to me and say, don't talk about forgiveness until you've forgiven. I'm like, no. Because I think people need to hear real stories.
And you might never get to that point where you
I know.
And there's, because the bottom line is everything is real. Everything is human emotion. We are human beings, right? So
yeah.
It's like, what, you're just not going to talk about anything you're going through? Like, I almost look at this, we'll use like a simple example of like a person going on a weight loss journey that they want to share, right, with others. So they shouldn't share it until they're at their size. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
That's so good. That's such a good analogy. I'm going to use that on the people that say that to me.
Why do people say that to you? Who said that to you?
I mean, it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's coming from a place of like wanting to like not see me fail or something. But something I did want to touch on is like, if you feel like you want to do something and people say that you can't do it. I just had somebody tell me like 2 weeks ago that I shouldn't be doing this. And that I shouldn't be doing like any of this. And I respect this person like highly, like so highly. And I couldn't believe that they said this to me. And I just accepted how they feel and what they think. And then I said, okay, well, I'm still going to do it anyways. And I just want to encourage you, if somebody told you that you can't do something, like, yes, the heck you can, because here I am and you can do this. So,
100%. Lori says, it's so hard. I am so glad I chose to listen in tonight. I feel like I have a beginning.
Oh, Lori, you just made my like whole life. Thank you for saying that. Oh,
sending you such a big hug, Lori.
Yes, virtual hugs.
Huge virtual hug right now. But do you know what I mean? Like, Lori just wrote that as you were saying that. So the biggest thing that I've learned, because I've had people say that to me too, like I've had someone as I was leaving a job say to me, oh, well, like hardly anyone makes it full time. Like, you need to have a pension. You need to have this. Like, most coaches I know have their full-time job and then they do this on the side. And you have to remember that that's just that person externalizing their stuff onto you.
Mm-hmm.
They might be trying to help you. They might be trying to tear you down, but it's all their stuff. And as long as you are focusing on your grounding and how important this is, like, we're impacting people every day of our lives.
Yes.
And not to say that you have to do it full time, but just saying, like, if anyone tries to say you can't, it's BS.
Yes, I completely agree with everything that you just said. And I think it especially hurts when it comes from somebody who is just like you highly respect in the world, and somebody who you would never expect to say that to you. And so combating that internally is so hard. It's harder than, I didn't get to that point like immediately thinking like, okay, well, like I'm still going to do it anyways. But I think, in that moment of this person saying this to me, I got a text from somebody asking me to speak on stage. And so I did leave there thinking like, I think I'm seeing some signs here that this is the right path for me, but it still hurts coming from somebody that you really love and cherish. So if that does happen to you, then know that I didn't just get there like the second I left that building. It took me a minute. Yes.
And I always like awareness. Okay, first of all, this really hurt me. I'm processing, feeling my feelings. This really sucks. Then after you feel your feels, maybe you rage, maybe you walk, maybe you talk it out, maybe you cry, do your thing. Doesn't matter if it lasts hours, days, etc. Find the compassion in the moment. Find the deep compassion and love for yourself. And then you shift. Because if you just instantly, that's that inner critic saying, oh my gosh, Mallory, like you're letting this person tear you down. Why are you doing it? Like, no, feel your feels. That person dug into you, and especially if they're close to you, and then process, move forward, and shift. And then put that in your speech and be on stage and be like, oh, this person said that.
But here I am, spotlight.
Well,
love that.
Amazing. I'm so happy I had you on.
Thank you so much. It really, like, this has just brought my day just up so high. So thank you. And I seriously think you are one of the coolest people I know. So thank you.
I think you're one of the coolest people I know.
Oh my God. Are we obsessed with each other or what?
Basically, it's fine. Really, I feel like a big part of my calling right now is to have these conversations, to meet women, and not just women, but people like you, so we can come together, because there are so many of us that are changing the world. And when we come together, whoever wants to share your story, like, that's just such a huge ripple effect on the world. And it just brings me so much energy. And so thank you for being on the show. I'm sure we'll be working more together, promoting each other, changing people's lives. And of course, if anyone wants to work with either me or Mallory or both of us, our information is here. I'm going to pop Mallory's. There's her stuff. Enduring Joy.
There's my stuff. Yes, that's where we just hang out and encourage each other. So come on over.
And then Rack Your Fear is my personal group. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Friday evening.
Thanks. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to pop in the music now. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Friday. Remember, you're worthy. Remember, you're strong. Remember, you are not your trauma. Remember, you have resources like myself and Mallory, other coaches, therapists, motivational speakers, people in the world. And even if nobody even has that title, you have people that care about you deeply, even when it feels like you're alone. So love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if I can assist in any way, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for joining Card Pulls and Coffee with Lindsey. Every episode is a joy sprung from a tree of life. We hope you'll join us next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Remember to share and like and follow. Until next week, let the stars you follow keep you safe.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.